I've been advertising on Google for 15 years, spent more than $20 million and spoken to thousands of Google advertisers during that time period, and there is still a ton of misinformation out there about Google ads. And the problem is that when a Google advertiser believes something is true when it isn't, it absolutely wrecks their results. So in this video, I'm going to go through the greatest Google Ads lies, the greatest Google Ads myths, starting with number one, Google Ads is really easy now. AI does it all for you. And obviously this is one that's come up fairly recently, but I am seeing it become more and more popular, and it is absolutely not true. You should look at AI as a time-saving tool when it comes to Google Ad campaigns, not as something that can completely replace any need for any effort or input from you as the Google advertiser. It's not like you can just set up a campaign, really basically never think about it again. The AI is going to take care of all of it for you. That is not true. And that applies to both the AI within Google Ads itself. So Google will suggest headline variations, description variations. Google will suggest keyword options, all based on AI tools. So it applies to that. It also applies to external AI sources as well. Other areas where you can get copy generation, things like ChatGPT, and image generation as well to use in the various locations in Google Ads where you might need images or even basic videos. But AI is not ready to remove advertisers. Absolutely not. Because some of the suggestions it creates are great. A lot of them are rubbish. And you need to be the filter. You need to work out, okay, this one's good, this one's not, this one doesn't make any sense, this one isn't relevant to my business, this one's great, let's use this, and go through and like I said, be the filter and decide which parts work and don't work. The other thing to consider when it comes to AI tools is that all your competitors also have access to the same AI tools. I mean, a lot of them are within the Google Ads platform themselves. So that's not where you're going to get a competitive advantage. And to really win with Google Ads, just like with any form of marketing, just like any form of business, you need a place to have a competitive edge. You need to have something that is better than your competition to win over the long run. So if everyone's got the AI tools, yeah, it all saves us time. It makes us all more efficient. Much in the same way that, Excel didn't remove the need for accountants to do any work, but it made it easier for them to get their work done faster, right? AI is very similar in the Google Ad space to that. So your competitive edge has to come from elsewhere, has to come from your creative input, offers that you can create, brand that you can build as a business, the stories that you can tell. So yeah, don't completely rely on AI. Okay, number two, you should only advertise on the search network. Now, a lot of Google advertisers just focus on search. They think it's the best place to advertise because there's intent there, is in the person searching is looking for something actively, as opposed to the display network or Performance Max where you've got more sort of interruption advertising and things along those lines. Now, I think it's good for beginners to start with a search network, but you don't want to stay there forever. You absolutely want to expand once you've got some conversion data into other campaign types like display, like Performance Max that incorporates all sorts of things. If you don't, you're missing out on so many impressions, so many clicks, so many potential conversions, because the whole suite of Google Ads is not just search, right? There's display, there's Google Shopping, there's YouTube, there's advertising in Gmail, there's all sorts of various places you can see Google Ads, and you don't want to miss out, especially if you've got something to work well. So I've got plenty of vids that cover display network, how to set up Performance Max campaigns, things like that. Just go ahead and check out my channel and you can find those. Right, number three, you need to be a tech genius to make Google Ads work. That is not true. I'm certainly not a tech genius, and like I said, I've been running Google Ads for 15 plus years at this point. So Google has put so much time and effort into making the Google Ads platform simple and easy to use for advertisers, because they recognize that a lot of their customers are small businesses, people who aren't massively tech savvy. They need to be able to come in and get things done and be able to use things and stuff relatively easily. When you go into the Google Ads platform, it does look intimidating, and that's because there are lots of different options that you can use. Now, those options are great as you become a more advanced Google advertiser because you might want to use them, and we certainly enjoy them. But having them in there does make it more difficult for beginners. My recommendation, though, is just to stick with it. It's not as complicated as it looks. Just learn. I've got a load of videos on Google Ads that show you how to do it, and it doesn't take long. A few weeks of messing around in there, and you're like, okay, I think I'm starting to understand this. This isn't too complicated, and getting a feel for it. Don't let that put you off thinking I'm not tech savvy. You can absolutely make Google Ads work without that. Okay, myth number four. If you turn off a Google Ad campaign, it'll never work again. I think this kind of used to be true a long time ago. I'd still say that the fears around this one were overblown, but it's not anymore. You can absolutely turn a winning Google Ad campaign off and then turn it back on again at a later date. And I always say that your business's needs should be prioritized over what's perfect for the Google Ad platform or the optimization system. Like, if you've max capacity or you've run out of stock, turn your campaign off. What's the point in advertising if you can't fulfill on that just because you want to sort of not mess up the Google algorithm and keep your delivery going? I think that's silly. Absolutely fine to turn campaigns off, turn it back on again. We do it all the time for our clients and it rarely leads to any issues. In fact, if you do turn it back on again and the campaign doesn't perform well, it's normally not because you simply turned it off and turned it back on again. It's normally because of some other external factor that may not have been accounted for. So don't worry about turning them off. Okay, number 5. The purpose of Google Ads is to generate traffic. Google Ads is often used interchangeably with PPC, pay per click. And the early days of Google Ads was all about getting clicks, sending traffic to your website, and then it will convert from there. And a lot of Google advertisers are stuck in that mentality. They're stuck in that mindset. And that really holds them back because Google Ads is much more sophisticated now. And instead of thinking of it as a traffic source, think of it more as a source of clients, a source of leads, a source of sales. Because you can set up your bidding strategy to optimize for conversions and conversions value. And Google is smart enough to adjust your campaigns and optimize them to get you that, to get you leads, to get you sales, as opposed to just clicks. And Google advertisers that optimize their campaigns that way typically see significantly better results. Right, we'll be getting on with some more Google Ads lies, some more Google Ads myths in a second. Before I do that, I just want to quickly let you know about my Google Ads mentorship program. Now, those of you who follow my content will know that I also have a Meta Ads channel. We've had a mentorship program there for 18 months or so. And we're now bringing that over to Google Ads. So we're going to be able to mentor people in Google Ads, help them get the absolute best results possible. Included is daily one-to-one support from us, exclusive course material, all the things that you need to get the best possible results from Google Ads. And actually, here's a stat that I'm really proud of. With our Meta Ads mentorship program, 82% of people that join see a notable improvement in their return on ad spend within just 30 days of joining. So that's absolutely fantastic. We're bringing that over to Google Ads. Very, very excited. If you're interested, there is a link in the video description below. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website, book in a free, no obligation call with one of my team members to find out more, and hopefully we get a chance to work together. Number 6, and this is a good one. Google hates small businesses. I've literally seen that as a comment on my videos multiple times, and it is absolutely not true. Google literally generates tens of billions of dollars every year directly from small businesses. Yes, they generate a lot of money from large businesses as well, but they by no means only want to work with them and want to turn their back on small businesses. That would be really harmful to Google as a company, and they do a lot of things that they can to try and help small businesses. Yes, do large businesses with larger budgets get preferential treatment? Of course, those customers pay way more. All businesses operate like that. You probably operate like that. There's probably clients and customers that pay a lot more money than others, and they probably get preferential treatment. That's just the way of the world. But they absolutely do not hate small businesses. In fact, Google Ads was really the platform that made marketing and advertising a lot easier for small businesses, because previously they could not afford the newspaper ad or the radio ad or the TV ad. It's just too expensive. Well, Google Ads came along and a small business could compete on very specific keywords, and they could purchase 5 clicks a day and be advertising alongside a huge business that's, bidding on many keywords, thousands of keywords, and getting thousands, tens of thousands of clicks a day. It allowed small businesses to sort of have a go. Okay, myth number 7. Google Ads quality score doesn't matter anymore. This is not true. Quality score affects your ad rank, so where you appear on the page. It also affects your costs, 2 things that are really, really important to the outcome of your Google advertising. Quality score was seen as a lot more important a number of years ago. People now thinking it doesn't really matter. Again, Google's just handling all of this stuff. That's not true at all. I've got another video about quality score. I'll include a link in the description where you can check out more about how to improve your quality score, but just know that it does matter, and it is something that we keep an eye on when we're running our Google ad campaigns. Okay, number 8. Google Ads are only suitable for online businesses. Well, a lot of the budget for Google advertising is spent on online businesses, e-commerce businesses, businesses that operate some sort of service digitally, remotely. But it's absolutely not true that it's only suitable for online businesses. Like, this is really old school thinking. There are lots of local businesses, either brick and mortar or service-based, where you visit the customer, that run Google ad campaigns. And in fact, those are some of my favorite businesses to advertise, because there's way less competition for those businesses than there are for online businesses. Because if you can deliver your product or service online, that means that, yes, you can potentially work with anyone in the world, but also so can all your competitors. So you are competing against hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands potentially competitors for the same customers. Whereas if your business only operates locally, like people either come to you, like you're a barbershop, people come to you, or you're a plumber, you go to them and you're only operating in that local area, you're only competing against other local advertisers. So whereas it's really difficult to have the best Google ad campaigns for some sort of e-commerce related business because you're competing against like thousands of businesses and some that are massive budgets and really good at it, it's actually not that hard to be the best plumber advertising on Google in your local area, because you could watch like a handful of my videos and boom, you know more than the other people running ads in that space. So absolutely throw that away. The best return on ad spends often come from local businesses with physical locations. Number 9, negative keywords hurt campaign performance. I think this really comes down to laziness. It takes effort to build out a negative keyword list, but it is absolutely worth it. I've got another video about negative keywords. I'll include a link in the description. Go ahead and check that out, how to build out a negative keyword list. But anyone who has run a Google ad campaign on the search network and then has then taken a look at the search terms report, as in the searches that are causing the ads to be shown, without a well built out negative keyword list, it's horrifying. You look at all these searches that cause your ads to show and you're like, what? No, I don't want my ads to pop up for those at all. That's not relevant. That's a waste of money. Oh, look, these people even clicked. Terrible. Negative keywords really help with that. So take time and effort, but go ahead and do it. Okay, and that's tied into the next point as well, number 10, which is you don't need to bother with Google ad assets, what used to be referred to as Google ad extensions. So things like site link extensions, call out extensions, structured snippet extensions, call extensions, price extensions, promotion extensions, all sorts. Well, they're often called assets now, although I prefer the term extensions. They aren't the biggest needle movers. Like, you're not going to take a campaign and triple its ROAS by adding in Google ad assets, Google ad extensions, but they're absolutely worth doing. It's worth setting them up because you might see a 20% bump in your return on ad spend. And particularly if you haven't got any and you can add in some of the most obvious ones like call out and site links. So yeah, again, just takes a little bit of effort, but well worth doing. I've got other videos on Google ad extensions, assets. Again, check out my channel. You can see a whole bunch of those. Number 11, if your Google ad campaigns are good enough, they will succeed. Most Google advertisers spend too much time. Well, the ones that are spending a lot of time, I've already talked about. There are those that are just trying to let AI do it all, not bothering with negative keywords, not bothering with ad extensions. But those that are diligent, that are putting in effort, that are doing the right things, that are learning, watching videos like mine, that are testing things out, which is all great, they spend too much of their time proportionally within their Google ad account and less on the other stuff. They forget that the landing page is really important, that the offer is really important, that how the brand is viewed and perceived from your marketing, from your website, from your social channels, from your packaging, from your customer service, from your email follow-up. All of that is really important as well to create this image and build this brand and build this business that consumers feel loyal towards, that they want to buy from again and again and again, which is often the key to really successful business, is being able to do that. These things are really important. If you're generating leads, like how good are your sales guys at converting? Makes a huge difference. I've worked with a number of businesses where they've changed out the sales team, brought in people that do a better job, and they triple their conversion rates. With nothing else, haven't touched the Google ad campaign, tripled the conversion rates. So tripled the revenue, tripled the return on ad spend, simply by having a sales team that is much better at following up with leads quickly and diligently, and then actually once they do get in contact, converts much better as well. Okay, number 12. Google Ads is a set it and forget it ad platform. Now, this is one where I see this happen a lot, where people come from the meta advertising world, which, like I said previously, I've got a channel all about meta advertising and have operated in that space as well for a long time. And they come over, and with meta ads, because it's all sort of interruption advertising, you get ad fatigue happen quite a lot. You're putting ads in front of people, and then they come over to Google and they see that, okay, I can advertise on the search network, so my ads only appear when someone's searching, therefore I don't need to ever change this. I don't need to create new ads. The audience is automatically renewing itself because it's only people searching for this at the time that will see my ads. And I understand the logic, but by taking that approach, you massively miss out on the best possible Google ad results. Because if you're not in there testing and optimizing, over time, your competitors that are doing that, they're going to absolutely crush you. Because we have taken so many campaigns from a 1.5x ROAS to a 4.5x ROAS over a 6-month period. And that's the sort of thing that can completely change a business. It could be barely break even maybe at 1.5 and at 4.5 really profitable, able to scale, whole business is doing well, business owners are making a lot more money, it's life-changing for them. It's absolutely worth the time and effort to do it. So I understand why they think of it as set it, forget it, but I don't think you should treat it that way. 13, Google Ads only work if you're in position 1. Now, position 1 being right at the top of the page, because there are obviously various positions on a Google search page that you can have a Google ad. Now, when you look at the data, position 1 obviously gets the most clicks, okay? But the idea that you have to be there in order for your campaign to succeed is not true at all. Firstly, it's much more expensive usually to get a click in position 1 than even in, say, position 2 or position 3. So sometimes you're going to see a better overall return on ad spend in position 2 or position 3 as an average. And you can look at your average position on page and assess where you're coming at. And simply because they might convert almost as well or as well, but perhaps doesn't cost you as much in terms of cost per click. So don't feel that top of page bid range is way too much. I could never afford that cost per click. It doesn't mean your Google ads won't work. You can pay less in terms of cost per click and you might still be able to get a really nice return on ad spend, which is the most important thing. Then you can scale up and spend more and look to move up. And if you've got some really big advertisers in your space, like it's absolutely fine for them to take prime position and you to take the other ones. You can still, like I said, get good results. One of the ways to go about doing that is to lean into specificity. So let's say you're bidding on some broader terms and the big players in the market, like they've got position 1, maybe position 2, and you're sort of there lower down. But if you can take a really specific angle on that search, like they're searching for a broader thing, but would you be interested in this specific thing? Well, anyone who is after that, they're much more likely to click on your ad and therefore they're more likely to convert because they're like, yeah, actually I was searching for this broader thing, but I do want this really specific situation here. That would be best for me. Okay, myth number 14. All your Google Ads budget will be wasted by competitors clicking on your ads. So this is one that you hear mostly from beginners or people who haven't even advertised, and it's one of the reasons why they don't want to advertise on Google, because they think, isn't there just a load of click fraud and people just click on your ads and that eats up all your budget so you don't get any leads, you don't get any sales. Google is well aware of this as a problem, and they put a huge amount of time, effort, resources into making sure that it doesn't happen in the first place. And if it does, they do things to seek to address it. They ban accounts that do this and all sorts. So I understand why it's a concern, but it's just not worth thinking about. There's not much you can do about it. Google's got this one for us. And it should not put you off advertising on the platform. If it was happening enough to take up enough of a budget for it to be like a real issue and something that prevented Google advertisers from being able to get results, the platform would not work. It would not be the place where businesses spend the most online by far. They just wouldn't do those things if they weren't able to get those results. So just not worth thinking about, not worth worrying about, not much you can do about it. Number 15, you should always bid on your competitors' brand names. So when, what's often referred to as a branded search campaign, you can bid on your own search terms, which is often a good idea. And a lot of advertisers want to bid on their competitors' search terms. And they think, someone will be searching for their competitor, but they'll see my ad and they'll click through and they'll go ahead and buy my thing or sign up to my thing instead. Again, I understand the logic. There are times to do it and times to not do it. The times to do it are when your offer is obviously superior to your competitors and you can explain it quickly and easily. So let's say, for example, you offer the same level of service, same quality of product, but you're massively reduced in terms of cost. Like the cost of your thing is way less than competitors. Okay, that might be a really good idea then, because when people are searching for your competitors, maybe one that has like a big brand name, that people know about, and they see it and they go, oh, look at this one, this business here. They're saying it's half price. And you can be quite aggressive in your ad copy here and quite cheeky, to be honest, saying like we're much better than them and we cost a lot less than they do. So when you've got that sort of situation, I like it. When you don't have that sort of situation, I'm not a big fan. Because what you can often have is someone will search for a competitor's brand name. If your product is similar or, maybe even not as good as your competitors, or not obviously as good, because it can't be subtle. It can't be like, it's better because of this subtle thing and this technical detail. But if your customers don't know, then that doesn't really matter. What'll often happen is they'll search, your ad will pop up, they'll click on your ad, come through to your website and go, oh, no, hang on, this isn't right. This isn't where I wanted to go. And they'll quickly hit the back button and they'll research and go to a competitor's website. And you've just wasted a whole bunch of money. And I've seen a lot of businesses waste money on those campaigns. So I think it's good in some circumstances, but you need to really think about it and you need to be clever and you need to do it when you can, obviously, like I said, be better than your competition and show it. Also be really careful. If you're like a software or something like that, and you're bidding on brand terms for a competitor, and people are often in Google searching for the competitor's name simply because they're already a customer and they just want to log in or access something, a really good way to waste a lot of budget because they're already signed up. It's be really difficult to move them over unless they're unhappy. Yeah, you need deep pockets to take that approach in that sort of space. Okay, number 16, conversion tracking isn't necessary. A Google Ads mentee literally said this to me recently, and I was quite surprised. Conversion tracking is absolutely critical. Conversion tracking is what allows you to use the better bidding strategies like conversions value. It takes Google Ads from a platform that can simply get you traffic to one that can get you leads and get you sales. So you absolutely need to make sure that you've got conversion tracking set up. It's not that difficult to do. Again, Google tries to make it as easy as possible. I have videos on my channel if you want to go ahead and look at those and check those out. I think they'd be really helpful. But absolutely go ahead and get conversion tracking set up. Google is very stunted in what it can do optimization-wise without that. Number 17, Google Ads don't work for small budgets. This is one that honestly is just an excuse. A lot of Google advertisers, they first start advertising on a platform, they struggle to get results because they just don't know enough yet. They don't have the skills to be able to make it work. And they just decide, oh, I couldn't get Google Ads to work because my budget was too small. You need a really big budget to make Google Ads work. That is not true at all. Because with Google Ads, you can get really precise with who you're going to put your ads in front of and when. So target very specific keywords that you know you can be very competitive on, where you can deliver perfectly for someone searching for that. You can target very precise locations if you're a local business. You can get really specific with your messaging, with who you're putting ads in front of to make Google Ads work for you and have a very positive, profitable return on ad spend that then allows you to scale. There are other things you need to do a little bit differently when it comes to small Google Ads budgets, and I walk you through those in detail in this video here. Like I said, it's absolutely possible to succeed with a small Google Ads budget. It's possible to succeed with a tiny Google Ads budget. I've advertised with literally $100 a month before, so tiny budgets. But like I said, you need to change things, so go ahead and check out this video and it'll show you how.